Hello. In these times, since the start of the year 2020, it has been a very different year to all the previous years. We started with a pandemic that has limited us a lot to our normal lives. And today I want to talk to you about what will happen next when the coronavirus stops or a vaccine against this disease comes out. We have to reinvent ourselves into society. Society has currently undergone many changes. They are abrupt changes that are so adaptive to a disease, which has led to a growth in all of our work areas, from working online or remotely from our homes or our work points, where we cannot personally interact face-to-face with people. Another important part is that companies have seen that this situation has favored them in some ways, such as limiting expenses, cutting or suspending jobs. And because of this, it has had the greatest impact on the impoverished of our population. There's great pressure has been imposed in the matter of food distribution, and it's emerged through non-normal work platforms because of the fact that people are being misnumbered because they take advantage of the situation we are in. It's believed that the world poverty population will grow to 35 million workers who will be left without something to eat or provide to their families. And this has led to an even greater forced hygiene change, which is the way we greet ourselves, the way we sneeze, and how we have to protect our faces. We've had social distancing, and we've had to avoid face-to-face meetings in small spaces. We can anticipate that companies' costs and investments have decreased because these interactions make many change reactions with companies having limited expenses. So they are sticking to this manner of working remotely. And that makes even the consumer, you and I, have to live through this manner. From having to buy food through remote distributors, through a phone call, using more social networks and the internet to make payments through credit card transactions. More money is being invested in technology because companies have seen automation and cybersecurity. And the companies are working much more using technology, and that has made people work in a very different way. We have immediate effects. We have seen that our society now has a fear of getting sick. We have limited our way of hugging our loved ones. The situation has even stolen our smile. Why? Because we have to have our mouths covered with masks. But life goes on, and we can't be tied to the situation. Every day, those of us that survive from not being sick to this disease or contaminated by the virus have to keep going. And one way to do that is to reinvent ourselves or to die trying. It's very important, as it says here, that it's not the strongest species nor the most intelligent that survives, but the one who is able to adapt and to change. This is the new way we have to live, and every day we will be adapting. It's about reinventing ourselves to keep going. What does it mean we need to have preventative measures? We have to wash our hands with soap and water, and this is what we will use in the meantime while there is no vaccine. Use preventative measures, mouth covers, social distancing such as queuing in lines. Be careful not touching keyboards that are used on public computers or ATMs or any type of item that is used regularly in the public by people. Even now, we have to prepare to get on an elevator. They're telling us no more than 3, and we have to have our faces covered. We have to avoid being in small spaces with large groups of people. As in the graph below, we have to avoid places such as airports that are often full. We have to have short-term goals reviewed. This means leaving a schedule. There will be 2 categories, what is urgent and what can wait. We can't pretend that being all the time in the house, that trying to do every chore like before by ourselves will be the same. You have to review income budgets, prioritize expenses. What does that mean? We cannot be freely spending on things that are not essential because the labor limitation has, for many families, the income has become minimized. Always first, your giving and tithe to your church or ministry. That this is not a priority in terms of a pretext to say, no, since I do not have anything right now, I will not give. God always blesses us in good times and bad times, and in the face of adversity, do everything with joy. It's sad to think that many people are dying, and it's not something to be laughing about. But in our time of less and with more limitations, God blesses and provides, and we must be happy and do things with joy. There's something else we have to think about, and that is to call friends that we have stopped talking to. Ask them how they've been, if they have a need. But share a conversation with them and see if they need help. See whether there's an economic way or a food need. And then look to pray for them and to bless them. Even though we are in this time, we have to unite as brothers in Christ and bless other people. What kind of people are vulnerable at this time? Older adults, people with lung and chronic diseases, diabetics, patients with heart problems, those with high blood pressure, those with cancer, and those with defense systems that we call immune or diminished. These are very vulnerable people, and with this condition, their reinitiation is slower. We need to be very careful and protect ourselves and others so that this group of people can be safe and don't become part of the coronavirus. Don't be afraid of the future. The future continues. God is there. There is a constant bombardment of information that generates a lot of anxiety. How many died today? How many new cases are there? The immediate effects of measuring this are so overwhelming that we have to be careful that we ourselves don't think that God has left us. God is there, and He guards us from all evil. As it says, I accept all things, and I will do all things new. Let's be prudent and smart. Let's take advantage of the changes we are having. Let's not trust in ourselves and let down the preventative measures. Let's take care of the family. Above all, enjoy free time with the family. There may be times we will have to do isolation and confinement according to the movements and appearances of the virus in our country. But let's enjoy the free time. Let's read the Bible, watch movies, talk and grow as a family, and be wise and smart. My final recommendations. Clear your mind through movies, reading topics of interest, reading the Bible, calling your friends to talk about how you feel, but also talk about other topics. It's not about calling and filling their head with your feelings of depression or flooding them into thinking that time of depression. If we have this situation, seek help with psychology or with a doctor who can support them. Health centers are always open. We have not stopped giving consultation. Let's maintain the routine and schedules of the bathroom, food, and exercise. There's no reason to vary our schedule with the meal times and exercise, because if we do that, this disorders all the functions of the day. Always keep your sleep schedule. Do not change it. Let's get up at the same time and let's go to bed at the same time, as if we were working normal without a pandemic period. If there's been a loss of job, keep the hope that this is a temporary. We do not think that God has left us. Do not think that life continues in a dark or gray way. Because after all, he says in 1 Peter 5:7, casting all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. But Jehovah your God you will serve, and he will bless your bread and your waters, and I will remove all disease from your midst. Exodus 23:25. I hope this has given you a light at this time, a situation that we are experiencing as a pandemic, a light of clarity that God is there and that we are not alone. We are not alone, and may God bless you at this time. Greetings and thanks.